Hello, this is Devin Easterlin from SJA Property Management, and this is another edition of Landlord's Corner. Today I thought we could talk about an occurrence that comes up quite often when we're dealing with do-it-yourself landlords that are looking for advice from us or looking for us to take over the management of their property. And that is that their tenant is paying late, their tenant is paying rent at different times during the month, or in some cases the tenant isn't paying at all. So what I thought we could discuss were ways you can lessen that occurrence. What you really want to do is set clear expectations in the beginning of the lease. You want to establish a business relationship rather than a strictly personal relationship. And that business relationship is going to be governed by the lease agreement that you signed and the landlord-tenant laws. So you want to explain to the tenant that you're going to be fair, but you are going to enforce the lease agreement, and you're expecting that you will adhere to the landlord-tenant laws and that the tenant will adhere to the landlord-tenant laws. So that's the first thing you do. Have clear expectations of when rent is due, when it's late, when a late fee will be assessed, and so on. The second thing that you want to do is enforce the lease terms. So again, it's a business relationship. If the tenant calls you up and says they're going to pay, a week late, now you may accept that, but you would inform the tenant that you do need to impose a late fee for them because under the terms, Section A of your lease, rent is due on the 1st and it's late, say, on the 5th, something like that. And you want to enforce that late fee. What that does, it just sets the right precedent. It says that this is a business relationship, we're going to be fair, but we are going to adhere to the terms of the lease. The next thing that you want to do is prevent yourself from the big loss. And by what I mean by that is if a tenant hasn't paid, you enforce your lease terms and they still haven't paid, you need to start that unlawful detainer or eviction action as soon as possible. What you're going to want to do is serve a 3-day notice and then get in touch with an eviction attorney or an eviction service that can help you through the process. The sooner you get that 3-day notice out, the sooner that you can have that tenant removed if you need to. Oftentimes, just by having the 3-day notice served, that will spur some action. It will show that you are serious, that you truly are following the law and following the lease agreement, and will get rent paid. If rent doesn't get paid, you've preserved your timelines, and therefore you can move quickly through the eviction process rather than waiting, say, 2 weeks, a month, trying to get the tenant to pay. And then at the end of all of that, having to start from scratch with the eviction process. Now you've lost out on, say, a month's worth of rent. So really, when it gets to that situation, time is of the essence. You want to make sure that you're preserving all those timelines so that you can get that tenant removed and a new tenant put in the property as soon as possible. So those are just a few tips that we've used and we've seen are very helpful in maintaining a positive landlord-tenant relationship and keeping our landlords out of problems with delinquent rents or non-payers. Please feel free to contact me directly if you have any questions on this or if you need any more advice. Thank you so much.